The South African National Editors Forum, SANEF, says it will be writing to President Cyril Ramaphosa to express its deep concern about claims made against Mineral Resources and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe. The move follows reports that Mantashe bribed two journalists to keep mum about a story on his infidelity. Earlier, Mantashe's ministry issued a statement saying that the allegations in question were not verified before the story was published. In it, Mantashe says he believes in upholding the integrity of the media and media freedom. The SABC spoke to him on the sidelines of a meeting in Parliament that was aimed at discussing his integrated resources plan for 2019. When asked to clarify the statement that no act of bribery took place, Mantashe said he didn't account to the public broadcaster.
He has a blessing that I account to Cyril Ramaphosa. They think I account to them. I account to Cyril Ramaphosa. I account to Cyril Ramaphosa.
All right, and for more now on these bribery allegations, we joined in studio by the South African National Editors Forum Executive Director Kate Skinner. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Let's start with that clip. He's not going to account to the public broadcaster. Is he not a public figure? Are we not entitled to the truth and the answer of what actually happened?
Absolutely. Absolutely, you are. He is accountable to the public, and of course he is accountable to the public via the media, via the public broadcaster. So I would say that is a very strange reply.
Yeah.
Also, what's interesting is the ANC has put out a statement, which I just saw recently, and basically he's saying there, or the ANC is rather saying there, that they have accepted that he didn't make those, wasn't involved in bribery. But we're saying as SANEF, but let's get to the bottom of this matter. Why did this issue come up in the first place?
Indeed. Yeah. So SANEF has written an open letter to Minister Mantashe himself to actually encourage him to come out clean. Sunday World had reported that he had said he had paid two journalists to do away with the story, but he has since denied those reports. So it's a bit confusing here. We don't know what the truth is.
Absolutely. And so we've said in our letter, we need to get to the bottom of this truth because, in the first place, we were told that the bribery had happened, and then suddenly we got the news story, which was that, in fact, it hadn't. So what we need to do is to get to the bottom of that. And we were saying that he needs to actually speak under oath in terms of making us aware of what the actual story is, because we have spoken to the editor of the Sunday World, and of course the editor of the Sunday World is standing by his story.
Because the editor is saying that he's promised an investigation into this matter, and that any journalist linked to the bribery, if evidence is provided, will have to be dismissed.
Absolutely. So he's saying he's going to get to the bottom of it, he's going to investigate it, and we're supporting that investigation. Because basically what we're saying is brown envelope journalism is massively problematic. It is absolutely counter any kind of journalism ethics.
But how prevalent is brown envelope journalist in this day and age?
Okay, so that is one of the interesting issues that we need to get to the bottom of. And we have got an inquiry into credibility and ethics with Judge Kathy Satchwell. It's an independent inquiry, and we are going to be writing a letter to her to say to her, please look at the specific issue, but also look at the trends. Are there trends? Is it just a few bad apples, or are we seeing something which is a lot more dangerous and problematic than that? So at this particular moment, we can't actually say, but we're certainly going to investigate that further, and we've asked the judge specifically to look at it.
All right, so there'll be an investigation running there. But this issue, Kate, sparked a debate on social media. People are talking about it. A conversation really on us as journalists and perhaps upholding our ethics. And I suppose it sort of causes some damage on the fight for media freedom and what we stand for as journalists.
It absolutely does. All of these allegations against journalists, particularly when they're not named journalists, there's a sense that then all journalists could possibly be part of this scourge. And so, yes, these kind of incidents are extremely bad for the media. Hence the fact that we want to get to the bottom of it, because the more these allegations come out and we don't get to the bottom of it, the more the media looks like it's not credible, that it's actually putting stories out there that are paid for. They're not there in the public interest. They're being pushed by particular interests, and that is completely counter everything that we're supposed to stand for as the media.
Indeed, indeed. So SANEF will be writing to the President requesting what exactly?
So we're requesting him to look into this matter, to get to the bottom of it. What is happening with Minister Gwede Mantashe? We've pointed out how unbelievably important this issue is in terms of media ethics. And we've said, get back to us. Find out what's happening, and we need obviously ministers and people in positions to be held to account.
And hopefully he'll be able to respond once the President steps in, because that's what he said on the clip, that he doesn't account to the public broadcaster but to the President himself.
Well, he should be accounting to the public, of course, but yes, that's why we thought it was important to actually talk to the President and to send a letter to the President, but also just to say that this is such a serious issue that actually it requires the President to comment on it.
Indeed, indeed. But as I said, a discussion was sparked, conversation started on social media and with people on the ground. What does this highlight? We've spoken about the prevalence of brown envelope journalism, but the debate really, what is it saying? What does it bring to our attention as journalists and the public in general?
Well, I think the one good thing that might come out of this is a sense of talking about journalism ethics and saying, if we're going to, as journalists, stand up for media freedom, then what is that about? And I think it's about reporting without fear or favor, reporting what is in the public interest. And it's actually quite an extreme example of bribery, which actually then gets journalists to talk about things which are absolutely not in the public interest, but would be in the interest of that particular individual or group. And so I think the debate on media ethics, what makes ethical journalism, and the issue around reporting without fear or favor, those kinds of discussions are useful. But it means that we as journalists have to reflect on ourselves. And if there are cases, we need to come forward, we need to tell Judge Kathy Satchell, we need to get to the bottom of this, and we have to get rid of the scourge.
And I think the question is,
we do have to.
Are our newsroom really having these discussions?
And they must. They must, because if we do find out that this is a problem, then we've got to work out ways to stop it. And so, in fact, that is one of the things that we are actually asking the public to do, is to come forward if they have any evidence of journalists that have been bribed. If journalists themselves have any evidence of this happening, we've asked them to come forward, come to the Satchell Commission and talk about it, so that we can get to the bottom of it. Because in fact, that will really significantly help us if there is clear evidence. And I mean, obviously it can't just be rumour mongering or whatever. Bring clear evidence of this, and that will allow the judge to look at it more closely.
All right, Kate, we'll leave it at that for today. Thank you so much for coming through.
Sure.
All right, well, there you have it. Kate Skinner, she's SANEF's Executive Director, talking to us about SANEF's open letter to Minister Gwede Mantashe to come out clean with the allegations that were levelled against him. Moving on.